Ocean 2 characters before we get into the game at some point. This is Ashton.
Hi, Ashton.
I like your dragon puppets.
They're not puppets, they're real.
They look like puppets. They look like he's just got little puppet dragon arms. Which is cool.
No, they're not puppets, they're real, and they each have their own personality, and they like to argue a lot, which stresses poor Ashton out.
So he's got, like, basically a shoulder devil and a shoulder angel, but they're dragons.
Oh, they're not devil or an angel. They're both demons. He's possessed by a dragon demon.
Fun.
So they're two bad idea dragons. Lovely.
Yes, they're both bad idea dragons. That's
I like his outfit.
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, you'll have to guess who my favorite character is. And he uses twin swords, as you can see.
Nice.
And he's one of the few people in the party that attempts to use logic, but also has a crazy side. Like, for some reason, after he gets possessed by dragons, he becomes obsessed with barrels.
Good for him.
And then you come across a barrel that's, like, been painted in rainbow colors, and he's just in, like, one of the other characters is like, "Are you okay, Ashton?" Ashton's just like, "Barrel, barrel, colorful barrel, colorful barrel."
Good for him. He has the correct opinion. Who the hell are you?
Oh, his job is adventurer.
Cool.
This is Bowman. He's a pharmacist.
He looks boring.
He has a wife. He's actually
Yes, life is me.
He's Zidane, personality-wise, except he has a wife. But he's still a little, like, he doesn't openly flirt with women, but he'll still, like, look at them and gives bad advice about women. That get, like, you actually have the option to go tell on him to his wife.
I would do that immediately.
And she, like, so, like,
in a heartbeat.
She looks at him like, "Oh, really?"
He looks like a fuckboy.
Yeah. He was a former fuckboy, but he is, like, madly in love with his wife.
And yet...
Her name is Nina. She's not a playable character, unfortunately, but I still love her.
Yeah.
But yes, but he loves his wife. He's actually a former professor at the university at the place where he lives, and he's a pharmacist now. And he tends to be a bit of a pushy asshole, but that's okay. But yeah, he actually helps you out, but so yeah, blah blah blah. Anyway, so he does get caught saying things about Nina. Or rather than being like, "I'm the alpha in my house," and then you go tell Nina, and she's like, "Really now?"
No, yet.
This is Celine. She's a mage. She's also a treasure hunter. Is what her job is.
She's got a shower curtain.
Yeah, that's the shower curtain.
She's gonna whack that with her sword.
She doesn't have a sword. She has a staff. Anyway,
her staff, whatever.
She's gonna whack it with her staff.
Like, I honestly don't know what that is. But it floats around her. It's not connected to her at all.
Yeah, I can tell. It's a floating shower curtain. And she has a silly hat.
I literally don't know what it is.
It's a shower
But
curtain.
either way, Celine likes to talk in that, like, "Oh, hello, dearie," type voice.
She has her own floating sensor bar.
This is Chisato. She's a news reporter.
She's cute.
Yeah, she actually works in a real, like, news station thing. And but yeah, she's sassy as fuck, and she's a karate master.
Good for her.
Like, she uses tasers and shit for weapons, but she mostly kicks shit.
Good for her.
That's Claude.
I think I've seen him before.
I've seen him several times before.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that there's actually 5 different versions of him now.
Like,
the cool thing about the Star Ocean remaster that I have, you can actually look at all the former pictures, so we can actually look at all of their old art and everything in the game.
Oh, neat. He looks really generic, though. He's protagonist gun.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's actually part of, like, his backstory, is that he is so just average, and he hates it.
Oh, he is the most mid man to ever exist.
Yeah, and he's just like, I hate it. Like
He is
here's the thing. He's very he's self-aware of the fact that he is commonplace, and like there's actual parts of the backstory that kind of touch on that a little bit. And it actually gets really sad on occasion because it's like, no, you're okay, Claude. You're valid.
You're just really, really mid.
But yeah, so he like here. The cool thing about the game is that it's subtle, but his personality changes over the time of the game too. Like it starts out like super average. He's 19, but he still acts like he's a rebellious teenager, even though he works for the Earth. He's the only Earthling. But he works for the Earth military, believe it or not, as an ensign, whatever you call it. Ensign. But he acts like a rebellious teenager because his boss is his dad. And he's like basically, "Fuck you, Dad."
Wow.
Oops.
That's Diaz.
No.
And he is Rena, the other protagonist's childhood friend, and unfortunately something really terrible happened that I'm not going to spoil.
No.
So he goes on an adventure
tragic.
to kind of... Yeah, he's tragic.
The sad boy.
But here's the thing. In Rena's story, if you choose her, she catches him on a date with Claude. An actual date.
Oh.
Ooh. Nice.
Because here's the thing about Diaz. You can only have Diaz in your party if you're using Rena's perspective. But keep that in mind because there's another character that you can only have if you do Claude's perspective.
Okay.
And then there's also, if you get Ashton, you can't get Opera and Ernest. But if you get Opera and Ernest, you can't have Ashton.
So what, they just got beat?
So that's why... No, it's just... You don't run into them. If you get Ashton first, you don't run into Opera or Ernest.
Oh.
And if you go for Opera and Ernest, it's past the time when you can get Ashton.
Oh, that would annoy me to no end.
Yeah.
I don't like having to replay games.
Well, this is one of those games that because it has so... Like, literally, all the characters can end up with all the characters. So, like, only 2 at a time. So it's one of... And on top of that, like, I really like how there's so much shit that, like, for instance, you're able to cook things, you're able to make weapons, you're able to make items, you're able to fish for stuff, and you actually have a fish category. You're able to... There's so much random shit in there that... and you also get New Game Plus, so you get to keep all of your items and money and shit. So you can cheat the second time around, and I've already finished the game twice, so haha! We're gonna cheat! Anyway, so Diaz, he's one of those guys that, like, because he has the tragic thing, he's pretty stern and logical whenever people, like, you know, just... If you act like you're throwing your life away for nothing, it pisses him off.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah. So that's what I mean by, like, he's really kind of logical. And I honestly have never had an issue with Diaz. I know that sounds weird. Like, I usually have issues with every character. But the one thing... He actually turns out to be a really shy, sweet guy. He just doesn't want to show it because, again, tragic backstory. I can't get close to people. And you'll know later. Anyway, this is Ernest. I'd like you to know that Ernest has a stalker. That he's forced to call his girlfriend.
Oh, I feel sorry for him
yeah.
now. It's the whip.
Yes and no, because he kind of... It's one of those things where, like, I call her a stalker, but the truth is, she can be pushy, but he could have told her no at any time, but he has feelings for her, so he doesn't, if that makes any sense. Like, the problem is that she wants him to stay home, but he's an archaeologist, which means he's gonna go to other planets, he's gonna be studying the history, that's the whole goddamn point of his job. Whereas she's just like, I just want you to stay home and be a house husband.
Seems unhealthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't... The thing is, I kind of don't like Ernest in the fact that, like, he's kind of stringing her along in the fact that he keeps reciprocating her feelings, but he also keeps leaving without telling her. And then on top of that, there's like a bunch of affection starters, And his highest affection is, of course, for his girlfriend. That's one of the playable characters that I'll show you. But the other one is Celine. He already has romantic feelings for Celine as soon as he meets her.
Oh.
And I'm just sort of like, buddy, either stop just end your relationship with your girlfriend, tell her straight, or stop messing around because you know she's completely stupidly in love with you. And she's not necessarily abusive, and she also doesn't necessarily drag him home. She just wants to be with him. Like, after the events that happen in which you get them together, because you have to have the other character first before you can have Ernest. And without the other character, you can't get Ernest. You can also choose to get the other character and not get Ernest, too. Just so you know. But yeah, so it's really... They're both not very good for each other, is my point.
Yeah.
But, it just feels too much like he's way too close to having an affair with Celine. Because Celine also has high romantic points for him back. And it just feels icky and wrong.
Can I break them up?
And it's just sort of... Technically, yes. You can actually have him end up with anyone. You can have his girlfriend end up with anyone.
I will immediately break them up. They will both be better. They sound terrible together.
Yeah. This is Leon!
Oh, he's so
He's
cute.
a babby. Look at him.
He's a mage and a scientist.
Got little
That's why
ears.
he has the lab coat.
He's so small.
Yeah, he
He's
has
too
kitty
small
ears.
for his coat. He is baby.
Yeah, he's 12.
A babby. Someone
He's
give
12,
him
and
like
here's what's hilarious.
a warm drink.
Yeah, don't worry. He gets spoiled by the other team members.
Good.
And they also... It's so sweet, because like you can only have Leon if you're on Claude's perspective. So this is the character you have to have for Claude's perspective. You can get for Claude's perspective. And in Claude's perspective, there's events where like... Leon admits that he has a crush on a female team member, and Claude's like, well, how about I talk to them for you? And he just basically was like, we don't want things to get awkward or weird, so we can just talk to them about it, and hopefully just kind of move past it so that we can keep doing the thing. But at the same time, who knows? It might lead to something good. Not like in a romantic way, but it might actually bring us all closer to understanding each other, or he'll realize you having a crush on an adult is wrong.
I mean...
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not going to blame a kid for
And
a
then
crush
there's
on
another...
an adult. It's only weird if the adult returns it.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily they don't. None of the adults return it at all.
Good.
Not, like, there's also one character who's 16 and she doesn't even return it.
Yeah, that's so weird.
But it's so cute because it's like, because he has crushes on all the female characters you have in your team. But the cool thing about them is that, like, except for the 16-year-old, she, like, they tend to argue with each other all the time, so of course it ends badly no matter what you do. But all the other, like, grown-ass adult females, like, talk him down from it. And one person, Rena, the other main character, is just sort of like, the way that she talks to him, even though I don't 100% like Rena all the time, the way that she talks to him and convinces him that we should just be brother and sister, and I'll always care about you like my little brother. And he's actually really happy about that. He's like, I have a sister! And I'm like, oh. And then there's also another time where, like, he's homesick and you can comfort him.
No.
And then there's another time where he discovers the rip-off Power Rangers. I'm not kidding. And he is, like, watching, and he's really curious about it, but he doesn't know if he should keep watching because he's like, does this make me lame? It's adorable. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cute stuff with Leon. But again, you can only have him if you're on Claude's perspective. That's Noel! He is an animal sanctuary carer. And it's hilarious because you break into his house, which is how you first meet him, and he's like doing the regular introduction. He's like, oh, hello, my name's Noel. Wait a minute, you broke into my house.
He's just like, oh, hey, Prinn. Oh, why are you in my house?
He's like, oh, well, I'm Noel. Welcome to my... Wait a minute. what are you doing in my house? But either way, he punches things, which is why he has gauntlets. Oh yeah, Bowman is also a puncher. We've got 3 punchers in this whole thing.
Nice.
Good for them.
His weapon is obviously twin swords. His is he punches things. Hers is, of course, she has a wand, so she usually uses magic more. She kicks things. He has a sword. He has a sword. He has a whip. He uses that book, believe it or not. Like, Leon opens the book and a monster comes out to attack. He actually can, for a good deal of the game, he can actually be a really decent fighter. And then, like, of course, for the latter part of the game, because he's a mage person, you know, it kind of winds down. But yeah, I've actually purposely used him as a fighter guy when I wanted to save my MP, and his attack points were actually really high, and I was like, what the fuck? Which brings me to the other thing I forgot to mention. So he is actually immune to dark spells. Let me go back to her. Celine is more lightning based, and he's dark spell based, so he can summon like Demon Gate and all this other shit, right? So at the final boss in the original Star Ocean 2 game, the final boss, no matter how much you level up, will always be 10 times tougher than you, so it's a pain in the ass to try to beat. Like, you could easily beat every other boss in the entire goddamn game. That boss will always be tough in the original. Not in the remaster, thank goodness, but, like, in the original. If I was on Claude's perspective, I always had to have Leon in my team, because he was the only one that wouldn't die. Because he's immune to most dark spells. It's hilarious because it's like, I made the joke one time that it's like, he's the, like, he had like a nightmare where he was surrounded by adults, but they're all incompetent. Because I literally usually had to finish the game with him because everyone else wouldn't stop dying. Anyway, and he's a healer, and so is Rena. Him and Rena are the same species of him, Rena, and Chisato are all the same, I say species. They're from the same planet. Claude is the Earthling, Ernest and his girlfriend are obviously from yet another planet, and then everyone else is from the same planet. Anyway, so Noel's a healer, he's a huge animal enthusiast. The reason he has tufts on the ends of his ears is because of plot points that I will not spoil. Anyway, that's Opera. That's Ernest's girlfriend.
Oh.
She uses...
Oh, she's pretty, though.
Actually, her personality is actually really, really cool. It's just when it comes to Ernest, she just gets weird. She uses guns. If you cannot tell. But she actually has really good chemistry with Claude, for instance. Like, I like to put her with either one of the girls, or I like to put her with Claude, or, like, because she actually does really well with all the other characters. She's kind of sassy, and she's also a little bit kind of like, when you first meet her, it's in a bar where she's asking about, hey, have you seen another guy with 3 eyes like me? And, like, they're getting, like, the guys in the bar are getting aggressive with her, and she's still just like, doo-doo-doo, because she doesn't give a shit because she knows she can kick their ass. She just continues on like they haven't said anything or done anything, because she's just sort of like, well, if they try and touch me, I will hurt them. Anyway, that's Priestess. She's a 16-year-old. And yes, she built that herself. She punches and smashes with that backpack. She also has a little robot that follows her around that she also built. The little robot's adorable, by the way. And you can also use him as a weapon, which causes him to die, but he comes back as a 2.0 and 3.0, etc. And yes, she's using a PlayStation controller to control her arm and smashy thing.
Nice.
Good for her.
Her thing is that her and her father are inventors. That's Rena. She's a healer. She punches things. But she's also mostly a mage. She is cute, but she's... You know how sometimes when they make games where, like, they say a character is just, like, this sweet, innocent little character. They say it, but the character doesn't always act that way. Like, they keep having to say that narrative, but it doesn't always show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You've played Tales of Graces, right?
No.
Yeah, the one girl character is just...
Yeah,
Anyway.
so she's that? especially in in the original and in the official comic, there's also official manga, there's also anime for this game and all that crap, but like in the official manga, she's worse.
Oh,
but yeah, so we're gonna just pretend like the manga's not there.
Yeah.
You'll see what I mean. She can be really, really cute. Don't get me wrong. She does have the ability to be cute, like I said, like the thing with Leon, for instance. But she is a little bit two-faced.
Oh, boy.
She is a little bit two-faced. This is the hated bitch.
Oh.
Her name is Welch.
Oh, it wasn't the last one?
Would you like to know? Yes, this is the last one. There's only 13. Would you like to know why I hate Welch?
Why?
Okay, so I used to like Welch a lot, and the reason why was because she was actually in Star Ocean 3. That's where she was originally from. She is not in the original Star Ocean 2 game at all. They added her to Star Ocean 2 because she actually turned out to be really popular in Star Ocean 3, and it's just sort of like, why not just remake Star Ocean 3, which you're gonna do eventually, and just have her be a playable character?
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense because Star Ocean 3 happens like thousands of years later, number one. Number two, she was the shopkeep for the armor of this like weaponry thing, and that was always her weapon, was that pointed stick, and it was hilarious because like her boss was like asleep half the time, so she would slap him with that to wake him up and then be like, "Hi, customer, how you doing?" So like in Star Ocean 3, she's great.
She sounds kind of like there's this one girl in Fire Emblem that she kind of sounds like.
Here's the thing before you make that comparison. She is not the same in Star Ocean 2. Just so you know. In Star Ocean 3, she's funny, she's great, I love her to pieces, I love her voice actor, I like her design, it's everything good. But then they decide to make her a secret character that just comes out of fucking nowhere. No explanation for how she went 1,000 years in the past, because she didn't have special abilities in Star Ocean 3. She literally just ran an armor shop. And they also changed her personality so that she's literally a pushy, spoiled bitch. You can actually reject her. So I'll show you the scene where you could get her, and we'll just reject her. And you'll see what I fucking mean. They gave her the worst goddamn personality. And on top of that, I actually had her in my party once because I didn't realize I could completely reject her. Because you'll see what I mean. She doesn't take no for an answer the first 5 times. And I had her in my party. She doesn't do anything. You don't really get private, like, you don't even get private scenes with her or anything like that. Not really. And whenever you get to talk to her, she's either boring or she sounds like she's too good for your ass. And I'm like, if they had an explanation for why Welch accidentally ended up 1,000 years in the past, sure. If they kept her personality, definitely. Or hell, have her be a secret character, but like, have her be, like, you know how like some characters will use the same character over and over again in each game? So like, if you go into the shop, there's that one guy.
Like Gilgamesh.
She could have easily been that. Yeah, just make her be like a weapons shop person. And then like, make it ridiculous so that she has a weapon shop in like every town. They're like, how the fuck do you do this? And she's like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, you're in this town, but you're also in the last town. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, in Genshin,
that would be funny.
In Genshin, they're like, you know, the Adventurers Guild girl.
Yeah.
She is simultaneously in every other country.
My point is that you can make her like Nurse Joy, but she's the weapons person.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's boring, she has no purpose, there's no explanation for why she's there, and her personality is a bastardization of what she actually is.
Fun.
You will hate, I promise, like, even if I hadn't explained all of this, you'd hate her too. She's a piece of shit, and I hate her. And I hate that when they did the remaster, that they included her.
Yeah.
I will never put her in a party ever again, because you can also have her end, her end with any of the characters as well, but she doesn't deserve it. Fuck her. Ugh. I can't explain to you how to just... Again, if they had a proper explanation, like if a portal opened up, because that's the thing about Star Ocean 3, was that like there is some crap that if a portal opened up and she got knocked into it, due to a she wasn't the weapons shop person, excuse me, she was the Inventors Guild person. That's what, it's been a while since I played Star Ocean 3, my bad. But she's the Inventors Guild person. Like, you go to her, after you invent something in Star Ocean 3, you go to her in order to register it and you get whatever prize. That's what it was. My bad. But yeah, like, you could have done that again for Star Ocean 2, because Star Ocean 2 doesn't have an Inventors Guild. But they could have done that and included Welch, and I wouldn't have thought twice about it because, you know, Welch is just the Inventors Guild girl. Like, that's the joke. Totally fine, you know? In other words, there's just a lot of better options, is my point. And, like, maybe you could do a side thing in order to recruit her from the Inventors Guild. There you go. I think that would have been a lot of fun. Like, you don't realize that you can recruit her, and then you find out you can, and then you go recruit her. There you go. Because that would have been nice in Star Ocean 3, because I really liked her in Star Ocean 3. And she was clearly a character, like a really fun character, too. I would have happily had her in my party. Not this time, though. Not this time. Anyway, that is the explanation of all the characters. Welch, fucker. Celine by accident again. Rena. Priestess. Opera. Noelle. Leon. Ernest. Diaz. Claude. Chisato, Celine, Bowman, and Ashton. Who do you think is my favorite character?
That's a hard one. Is it that one?
No. Fuck no.
No, not Ernest, the guy before him.
Oh,
yeah.
No, he's my crush, but he's not my favorite, believe it or not.
Oh.
The boy?
No, but I do like him, but he's not my favorite. But I definitely love him to pieces, though.
Yeah, I don't know then.
You guys don't know? Look at how stressed out that boy is.
He's your favorite?
Yes!
I mean, he's my favorite for what I've seen. Look at him.
Honestly, he's most people's favorite. They actually did a number of different polls in the manga or around the anime as well as around like the different games, and he always came out on top, and I'm like, there's a reason! There's a reason. Okay, so you can choose up to 8 characters, and like I said, if you get Ashton, you can't have Opera or Ernest. If you get Bowman, you can't have Priestess. Just so you know. So it's either Ashton or Ernest and Opera, Bowman or Priestess. Celine you can have either way. Chisato you can have either way. Claude, of course, is the protagonist. You don't have a choice. He's only available in Rena's story.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna go with Little Dragon Boy.
Alright, you guys want Ashton?
He's here.
You guys want the Ashton unit?
I like
Okay,
boy.
so let's put into the thingy. Alright, so we want... Oh, of course it's gonna have Claude.
Look,
Rena.
I'm predictable.
Ashton. So there's
Yes. Look at him.
I know, he's so stressed out, the poor man. He's so stressed out. I love him to pieces. He's just a nervous boy. Anyway, I love him so goddamn much. Anyway, I can't math. 5 more. Okay, so if you get him, we can't have Opera or Ernest though, so that eliminates those 2. Get on there. Okay. Again, if you want Bowman, you can't have Priestess. Celine, like I said, you can actually choose to reject these characters too, by the way. You can actually do the entire game just Claude and Rena, if you wanted to. And depending on what characters you choose, of course, depends on how the plot will change and stuff like that. And there's also ways to cheat, including getting Priestess early, so that she actually has interactions in a particular event that otherwise she wouldn't have. Anyway, but you can only get Priestess early. You can't get anyone else early. Either way, there's Celine, so you can choose yes or no to keep Celine. You can choose yes or no to keep Chisato, but you do have to put in some extra effort to find her. It takes 3 events where, like, you just run into her, and she's just like, God damn it, they saw me! And runs. And then after that, you just have to go to her place of work, and you can and you basically be like, You know, it would be safer if you were on our team. I'm just saying. Like, if you're gonna run around and follow us anyway. Because she, like, is trying to report on you. Oh, Houdini is scared because it's storming. Come here, buddy. You have to physically move upward so I can grab you, buddy. So I have a scared dog in my lap now. Anyway. Claude, of course, you already know, has to be part of it. And like I said, Diaz is on Rena's thing only.
Maybe that's
you can have Ashton. Maybe. You can have Ashton on either perspective. You can have Celine on either perspective. You can have Chisato and Noelle on either perspective. Bowman, Priestess on either perspective. It's literally just Diaz or Leon. And like, if you get Rena, you get to have Diaz. If you do Claude, you get to have Leon. So it's a matter of, do you want Diaz or do you want Leon? Do you want sassy little boy or do you want troubled man?
I mean, I kind of...
Okay, well, we already know there is Leon. Oh, by the way, oh no, I'll save that. Anyway. But yeah, so it's either him or him. Sassy, adorable little boy interactions, or maybe he's gay. To be honest, in the original game, it is indicated that he is gay and that he has a crush on Claude. It's indicated, but it's not openly said. And again, I could be biased. I don't know. Probably just biased. You know me. Yeah. But either way, like, even when there was... I remember reading about an article, like, in one of the gaming magazines when I was at GameStop back when they had a lot of those or whatever. They still do, but you know what I mean. Yeah. That they did mention that they did want Diaz to be an openly gay character, but because of American audiences, blah, blah, blah. And then they realized maybe not, because it was also in the 90s, you know, so...
Yeah.
They were still heavily against it back in the 90s and even in Japan and everything, so...
Yeah.
The best they could do was a slight indication. Now, when they made the PSP version, which was the game right before this one, but it's, has a lot of the same brand new private actions, because in the original, you had no private actions with Diaz. None. You could still have an ending with him, but he didn't have any private actions, which is the... You go into events and you see them interacting and stuff, right?
Yeah.
In the PSP version, they gave him private actions, and they did it again for the remaster, so...
Good.
Yeah. Either way. Oh, puppy. Poor thing. He's so scared. Anyway, so... Again, it's either him or it's Leon. Now, personally, I like Claude's story better because it makes more sense to me. I mean, they kind of fixed it looks like, so that it makes sense, because in the original, it makes the most sense from Claude's perspective, and Rena's perspective is more like they forgot some things. And, like, they kind of had to force the perspective with Rena a little bit. And it didn't make sense to their personalities in some cases. It's almost like they're each telling their own version of the story, and Rena's trying to make herself sound better. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I said, they fixed a good deal of that, at least. Anyway, would you want Noelle?
He looks okay, but...
No. I guess if you... Blah, blah, blah. You can have up to 8 characters, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then there's also... It's either going to be Priestess or Bowman. And Priestess is insane, but I love her. And then Bowman's just funny because you keep getting caught. Like, if you do Claude's version and you're with Bowman, if you do Rena's story and you have Bowman in your team... Rena catches them raiding women, and she gets pissed and, like, puts them in their place about it. And there's a version of it in Claude's perspective, too, that I haven't done, and so I don't know if she does it again then, or if you get to just play it out without Rena going off on you. Either way, Claude is just sort of like that seems stupid. And Bowman's like, you gotta learn how to live a little. And like, basically, he's this old man who talked a 19-year-old into like rating girls, and even though Claude was like really hesitant about it, he's like, something about this feels weird. Anyway, so Bowman is kind of sexist, like I said. He's not my favorite character for sure. And Priestess is crazy, and I love her. She's hyperactive, like me. Rena, of course. Hi, kitty. Would you want Celine in the group? Hi, puppy.
Hello, shower curtain lady. You're useful, you're useful.
Oh yeah, she's very useful.
A lot of this stuff would be based on, like...
how good they are in the game.
Yeah.
They're all good in the game. The only person... No, I take that back. The only person that is not the greatest is Chisato. She's a fighter. She's strictly a fighter. But she's real weak. And I admit that. She's really weak. Like, super fucking weak. But her private actions and her personality and stuff kind of make up for it a little bit. Because it's, like I said, we're going to be concentrating on story-based, because you can level them up to make them all useful, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the usefulness is not a factor. They all are useful. And on top of that, because you can only have 4 characters in your team at any time, you can also have 4 extras on the side that you just do for private actions. You never have to change that crap. Unless, there's only one event toward the beginning, but it's fine. Other than that, you don't have to split up your team or anything like that. Therefore, you can have 4 extra and 4 actual fighters.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably have to actually see them in-game myself to get the vibe.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Fuck you so much. Anyway. But yeah. So Priestess you run into well before you run into Bowman. The reason why I was kind of pushing on Priestess or Bowman in particular, oh, and of course on DS and Leon, is because that decides who you play as. And then on top of that, Priestess you run into, and you can go ahead and recruit pretty much as soon as you meet her. And that's well before you run into Bowman. I will say she is the better fighter between her and Bowman.
Probably end up with her then. It's like,
yeah.
There's a really good reason to wait.
Cause on top
also,
of that,
he's
like
scuzzy, I don't.
He is very scuzzy.
Why?
And like I said, we can also play both Claude and Rena's perspective. It's just a matter of which one would you like to play first, and then you can decide afterwards if you want to play it again to get other stuff. Again, my preference is typically Claude, but I also admit I like having Diaz around. You beautifully, beautiful bastard.
Yeah, he's very pretty.
But Leon is a magic user, Diaz is a fighter, and so, like, Leon and Celine are the best magic users. Rena's the best healer, even though Noel's also a healer. He kind of sucks. The best fighters are Diaz and Claude. Oh, and Ashton, of course, is like follows up after them. Ashton and Priestess are like just below them, barely. Like, they're still pretty good. Poor Chisato sucks.
Yeah,
she's just very weak. He's kind of weak too, to be honest. And then Bowman is. So what?
I'm saying if he's weak, why bother? Keep your toxicity away.
Opera is not weak. She's really strong too. So, like, I guess it would be Claude.
I would hope so with that big ass gun.
So I would say it's like Claude, Diaz, and then it's Opera, Priestess, and Ashton. And then I would say, drop a level, and it's Bowman and Ernest, and then drop 2 levels, and it's Chisato.
Oof.
And I don't know about Welch, because, you know, I never use her, because fuck her.
No.
Fuck her. Anyway. But yeah, so Leon and Celine are the strongest magic users. Sorry, Noelle. And then of course Rena's the strongest healer. So toward the end, if you're on Claude's story, you can have Leon toward the end, which he's the most useful for the final boss, no matter which game you're playing. Because of the fact that he's immune to dark spells. But Celine, even though she's not immune to anything, gets some of the most powerful spells, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So she's strong in the fact that she gets some of the most powerful. He's strong in the fact that even though he's a small child, it takes a lot to kill him.
You just see the enemies trying to murder him. It's just not working. He's just sitting there like, I'm fine.
That's what's hilarious about it, though. Like, the final boss, multiple times, has, like, done these really insane, powerful spells that killed everyone off, and he's just standing there and he had no damage at all. Like, all the adults are dead. What do I do?
Kicking him little feet.
But DS and Claude are the toughest fighters in the entire fucking game.
Yeah, so no matter what path you take, you have a good fighter available.
Yeah. Yeah, but I would say that,
otherwise
like,
there'd be no reason to not play Claude.
I will say if there's a possibility that we only play it once, I would really prefer to play Claude's version, because
that's fine.
Okay.
I worry that Rena's will make you. We can play after this. Actually, I'm starting to get spoons again. Now that I've been talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We can play. Why not? But mostly, Rena's story isn't that bad. I make it sound way worse than it is, but it's like, for me personally, I feel like if you did Rena's first, you wouldn't like the game as much. And then you wouldn't be willing to give Claude's a chance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then Claude is just he's a pathetic little baby. He's just a boy. He just baby. It's like, even though he is so mid, it's weird how attached you can get to this guy. Except, here's the thing. He has some red flag moments, and I admit that. Because he gets a little too easily jealous over some things. Just because he has, what is that called? Some kind of complex,
Hero complex?
No, not hero complex. The one that basically means you have low self-esteem. He has inferiority complex. He has an inferiority complex due to daddy issues. Daddy issue. Okay, that's another way to describe these characters. Hold on. Let's see. Stressed out. Sexist. Thinks she's stronger than she is. Insane. And also thinks she's stronger than she is. But very obsessed and determined to get a good story. Mid and easily jealous by things because of inferiority complex. Troubled. Hi, Houdini. He can't just...
Houdini.
Houdini. Poor babe.
Yes, that's totally Houdini.
Oh yeah, that's 100% Houdini. Somebody edited his Houdini's head on top of his head.
I'll do it later.
Oh, come here, buddy.
They edit this.
Come on.
I will Photoshop.
He's not confident about jumping up in my lap, so I will bring him into my lap. Okay. Anyway, he is a workaholic, but also likes leading people on, it feels like, to me personally. I mean, I might be misreading it. You can always correct me. Sassy pants.
A child.
A sassy child. He is a pacifist who's forced to fight. She is cool, except around Ernest, in which case she turns into...
Toxic?
Yeah. She's cool until toxic. hyperactive and she has the ability to be obnoxious, but it's that kind of obnoxious that I personally find endearing because I'm the same kind of way sometimes. Kind of two-faced. No. But yeah.
And he had another picture of her.
Anyway, what do you guys think?
They look like an interesting group of characters, but I really need to meet them in game.
Yeah.
Well, the only person we know for a fact we want is Ashton, because there's no way you can meet Opera and Ernest or
Yes,
Ashton.
look at him.
You have to choose one or the other ahead of time. You have to. Because it's like, you can choose between Priestess and Bowman.
Okay, but I don't want the toxic couple. I want him. I want his dragon.
The cool thing about Priestess and Bowman is that you...
Look at them.
Oh, that's an ice dragon, by the way, and that's a fire dragon. I know it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
No, it's pretty easy.
The red one is the ice dragon, the blue one's the fire dragon, I can tell.
Exactly. Exactly. Anyway, and the cool thing is that
I am correct in my opinion.
And the cool thing is that you can actually adjust their affections for each other at any time. So we can actually be nice to everybody and then shut down their feelings with items.
Oof.
Shut down or increase with items. And in the remaster, thank freaking goodness, but in every other version, you can't see their affection points. But in the remaster version, you can. The problem is, in the original and the PSP, like, for instance, Rena and Claude, because they're the main characters and they're technically canon for each other, unfortunately, like, they don't have to be canon for your ending, you know what I mean? Like, they're technically canon.
Yeah.
They have 3 different endings with each other, and and on top of that, they each, because they're the protagonists, have multiple endings with each character, depending on who likes who more. But because you can see the affection points and you can kind of max them out, instead of it being like by points, it's by hearts, and they're always matching each other. Unfortunately, with the remaster, I don't think you have that option for the multiple different kinds of endings like that. So, possibly at some point, I might attempt to play the original Star Ocean 2, just to show what I mean, but I don't know. Or not, I don't care. I can also just tell you what the endings are from the strategy guide after we play the game. Anyway. Alright, I think that's it. Anything you guys want to add? Hello?
That's about it.
Okay. Alright. Say goodbye to Stressy Boy.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.